final quarter begins right now.
And welcome back to it. Appreciate you being with us here on the final quarter on CBS 8+. That's John Howard and Karthik Venkatraman. I am Jake Garriani. Fellas, what a disaster Los Angeles, California was for the San Diego Padres. It was disheartening. It was humbling. It was all the things you could possibly think of for the Padres as they took a one-game lead into the NL West up to Chavez Ravine. They get swept by the Dodgers, and now they are 2 games back. We'll get into all of that. But, fellas, this was tough. There were a lot of people really pulling their hair out after the Padres worked all year long to catch the Dodgers and then kind of cough it all right back up there in L.A.
Well, I'm interested in hearing what Karthik has to say about it, but one thing I'd like to mention was how uncharacteristic of the previous 2 weeks it was. The Padres had won 14 of 17 games going into that series in L.A. and then suddenly just drop off like a bad habit. It was an ugly sight to get swept by the Dodgers. You hate getting swept by the evil empire up the I-5, but to win 14 of 17, jump into first place, and then have that happen, just disheartening.
You got to give credit to the Padres, right? They caught them. They got there regardless, Dodgers, injuries, whatever. That being said, man, you can't go on the road with a one-game lead and get swept, man. We all knew what was on the line. And what bothers me more about it is just like, okay, they're still in the race for the division. They're still going to get the Dodgers this weekend. The Dodgers might lose to the Rockies as we record this. They're down 5-1 in the 6th. And the Padres might gain ground on them. And maybe they're down 1 game as that happens this weekend. But you can't keep losing to Big Brother, man. I talked about this last week. It's like a mental thing at this point. It's when they go play the Dodgers, other than 2022 in the playoffs, it feels like the job just doesn't get done. And when you go play them, and now is your chance to be like, oh, yeah, we got momentum. You guys are weak. You got to kick them while they're down, and they didn't kick them while they were down. They got kicked. They got kicked 3 times in a row. It wasn't good. It wasn't good, Jake. It wasn't good.
It wasn't. And I don't disagree with you on a lot of what you're saying there. I think the one thing that if you wanted to take away, like any idea that the Dodgers are some sort of roadblock, is that the Padres just played really bad baseball for 3 days. Now, did the Dodgers bring that out of them? I don't really think so because of the poor baseball that they played. So had the Padres showed up, played their best baseball, and the Dodgers still swept them, I think there would be way more cause for concern. I think the Padres put together 3 horrendous days. Now, again, maybe that's because they came in feeling really good about themselves, or maybe that's because they came in with the lead and were intimidated to lose it. Whatever you want to say, they played 3 really bad days of baseball. They did get swept. But on top of all that, yes, they're still right there in the division. And the one thing that is a positive is it's not the last time they will see the Dodgers. Now, if the Dodgers come to Petco Park and win 3 more, then I am here to press that panic alarm with you. I am fully on board with that. It was just 3 terrible days of baseball for the Padres.
I guess, but like they've lost 8 of 10 to the Dodgers this season. It's like, you know, I think what's disappointing about it is because you're like, okay, you know, before the trade deadline, you're like, okay, Padres obviously need to make some moves. They got to make the moves. All right, they made the moves at the trade deadline. Now we're here. Okay, we made the moves. We're big. We're bad. We won 14 of 17. We're coming in to play the Dodgers. And then they lay an egg. And they lose the Friday and Saturday game, and then you're sitting there on Sunday, and you're like, okay, at least get 1, tie up the division race. You know, it's not what you wanted, but at least you're still in it for a tie, and you figure it out the next weekend that happens.
Yeah, quite frustrating.
And they drop it. They drop it.
The Padres had shown a year and a half ago that they can beat the Dodgers. And now, at the trade deadline, they get all bolstered up, and I don't understand why they laid the goose egg they did. What's quite frustrating, though, is in last season's playoffs, the Dodgers eliminated the Padres. Padres going 24 straight shutout innings. They get eliminated, and suddenly the Padres are here having to prove once again they can beat the Dodgers, having lost 8 of 10 this year. Come on, man. It's awful.
Like they got to stop proving it and doing it, man. And this weekend, I'm telling you, man, they got to get it done this weekend. I'm a little hyped for them. They still got a chance at this thing. I mean, we talked about it, right? 2 games currently down, and then, you know, could be 1. And then you get it. You get a series win, and then you flip that 1. Now you're tied. Obviously, the Dodgers own the tiebreaker because of how many times they've beaten the Padres. But then, both these teams have favorable matchups coming up in September, and we'll see what happens, I guess. It's going to be tight.
Frustrating, aggravating. I get why all the fans were fired up after that weekend. Totally, totally understandable. With all that being said, though, like you mentioned, give the Padres their credit for catching them, which they did. Now you got to finish the job with the 30-whatever games left in the season. Here are where the standings sit after that Dodgers sweep, and then we're partially into this Giants series. We record right now as they're 3 games into that Giants series. So the Padres, the 2 games back, 70 wins on the season, guys. I mean, I just can't reiterate enough how many people thought that this team would not be anywhere near contention for the division. Again, call it what you want with the Dodgers' poor play and their injuries, but also I still think there needs to be a ton of credit given to the San Diego Padres for the type of play they have put together this season as well. That massive, massive series coming up at Petco Park, the final 3 against the Dodgers. Fellas, I mean, is it make or break, those 3 games at Petco Park? John, I see you shaking your head. No, no, no.
It's not make or break. There's 36 games to play, and I find it very frustrating, and I want to complain to Major League Baseball's scheduling committee. Just 3 games out of those 36 are against the Dodgers? Come on. The final 4 series should all be against divisional opponents, and I don't like the scheduling the way it is in the last couple of years. We should be seeing Padres and Dodgers in the final 3 games of the season and see the schedule backloaded with divisional opponents. We got American League teams coming in here between now and the end of the year. Forget that. Let's see the divisional opponents beat up on each other to battle for that division crown. You don't want to see the Padres lose 3 this weekend at home to L.A. I'm predicting that they're going to win 2 of the 3 and pick up 1 game. But I want to see more divisional opponents deeper into the season.
I like the balanced schedule.
I do.
I like playing every team, and that's okay if you don't. But I do think, to complement your point, I wish there was more drama in the schedule as it gets down into September. And Karthik, you and I have talked about it a bunch. September is very favorable for the Padres. The second easiest schedule in all of Major League Baseball. The one big problem, the team with the easiest schedule remaining in all of Major League Baseball, of course, the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Yeah, for sure. I also don't think it's make or break for the Padres. Obviously, there's still time. I think, the thing for me is just okay, the Padres talked before the season. Like Jackson Merrill talked before the season. If they didn't, fumble maybe the first half of last year, the way that they just played in the second half, they had a chance at the division title. And now it's here right on the cusp again for this team. They're right there. They have an opportunity. It would be great. I think it would be, honestly, a monkey off the back for the San Diego Padres to find a way to win this division. They haven't done it since 2006. But it's just
of course.
But they got to get it done. These games against the Dodgers matter so much, and they haven't been getting it done in them. And I want to see it. It's not make or break. Obviously, if they went into the postseason as a wild card, they did so last year. They caught fire until they had the shutout streak against the Dodgers, but they were up in that series. So I'm not saying it can't be done. They couldn't beat the Dodgers even if they lose. Even if they get swept this weekend, which nobody wants to see. But I don't think it's make or break. I think they'll still have an opportunity to really accomplish what they want to accomplish, which is the World Series. This team is loaded with talent, but it doesn't matter if you're loaded with talent if you don't get the job done.
They got to get it done. It's not make or break. They can still win a World Series. I'm following along here with whatever you got going on.
Cover all my bases, Jake.
I thought it was amazing how much people's mindset shifted after 3 games of a series, right? Like, before that series, the Padres were the greatest thing to walk the earth in San Diego. After that series, people were done with them. The season was over. They're never going to beat the Dodgers. Pack it up, end the year. I love that one series, albeit a huge series, as much as we talked about it, changed the entire mindset of this fan base, even with the 30-something games left in the season. And now, one of the guys that's been a huge part of the trade deadline and been really big for the San Diego Padres recently has been Ryan O'Hearn. He's also the reason that manager Mike Shildt has been under a ton of fire recently because he wasn't playing him every single day. Fans were up in arms about Ryan O'Hearn not playing. Let's hear from Ryan O'Hearn first, and then we'll discuss this topic. Here is Ryan O'Hearn talking about the roles he has played over his career and here in San Diego.
Being a pinch hitter, bench roll guy was my job for a couple of years. And, you have to embrace it. And I think there's a lot of things that come with it. You have to kind of understand, where you're going to fit into a game, who you might face. You're going to get that adrenaline rush, maybe some anxiety. And I think when you're a young player, it can consume you. And I think the older you get, you understand how to use that and kind of stay present, stay in the moment. So, You know, when I say whatever they need out of me, I truly mean that. You know, I've been used in baseball games in many different aspects, and you know, I'm game for it. You know, whatever Skipper needs from me, I'm gonna be ready to go.
It's a great veteran mindset. He's been great in that role coming off the bench. He's now been red hot. I don't think it will be much of an issue anymore that he won't be an everyday player. Try and reverse a little bit here, guys. Do you blame Mike Shildt for getting different people into the lineup, for playing the lefty-lefty matchups, for not having O'Hearn in there every day? And now I know, because Ryan O'Hearn has done what he's done, it's an easy answer to say, yes, I blame him. But did you see Mike Shildt's logic, or do you think it was a mistake not to have him in there every single day since they traded for him?
I see his logic, and I think after the trade deadline, Mike Shildt had a good problem. How is he going to get playing time to all these guys, especially when you brought in Ramon Laureano and O'Hearn? How are you going to get these bats that suddenly were very much needed all into the lineup with the likes of Sheets? So, you know, I don't blame Mike Shildt. He had to get the bats in when he could. If O'Hearn was going through a time where he's struggling a little bit, lefty on lefty, okay, then that's going to be a day he's going to come off the bench. But perhaps O'Hearn has earned his way into the starting lineup day in, day out. I don't give Mike Shildt too much heat here.
Yeah, neither do I. I mean, like when O'Hearn came to the Padres initially, he wasn't hitting the ball well, and he got some opportunities. And, you know, as John said, you got to plug and play. You got so many pieces at the trade deadline. You got to figure out who we're going to play, where we're going to play. And the whole point of this was to get depth and figure out who goes where. Ryan O'Hearn has taken up his position really well. I talked about him last week and, you know, how much he's been drawing walks before he really got his hits, and now he's getting hits. Over the last 6 games, he's been batting .353. Over the last 6 games, he has 5 RBIs. Over the last 6 games, he's drove in 6 runs, and 6 of those hits, 3 of them have been extra base hits, 2 doubles and a home run. I mean, the guy is really, he is what he was advertised to be. When he's hitting the ball, he can really hit the ball. Now he's starting to hit the ball a little more in the recent stretch for the Padres. Can he stay hot? But I think the Padres have a great problem. They have so many guys that they can play. We're just watching this as we're doing this. Gavin Sheets hits a home run. He hasn't played much since the trade deadline. He got a double the other day, a home run today. They've got a good problem. They got a lot of bats. Mike Shildt has a difficult job of figuring out who's going to play when. The guy's won a pretty decent amount of games this year, so I think he's doing quite all right. Yeah,
to both your guys' points, it's a great problem to have. I think the game that did Mike Shildt in was the let's start Bryce Johnson over Ryan O'Hearn. Now, Robbie Ray has had like a career 179 pitching against lefties, so I understood the logic in that one, but then he pinch hit Ryan O'Hearn and he hit a home run off Robbie Ray, and that did not help Mike Shildt's case. But at the end of the day, look, again, a great problem for the San Diego Padres to have with a multitude of bats coming off the bench, opposed to what they didn't have, which was even starting depth before the trade deadline. Here is the Padres' upcoming schedule as we record right now. They're playing that 8:20 game against the Giants, and then they'll wrap that series up on the 21st. It can't be said enough how much we've talked about that Dodgers series, and then it doesn't get any easier. Seattle Mariners are playing good baseball. Then they have the off day, and as they roll into September, that schedule does become a little bit more favorable, guys. When I was down there just the other day for the second game of the Giants series, I actually got our first opportunity to talk to Jackson Merrill, who up in L.A. on Friday rolled his ankle in the 9th inning, and then he tried to fight through Saturday's game. He played the entire game, tried to fight through Sunday. He would get removed in that game on Sunday because of that ankle has been bothering so much. Here is what Jackson had to say about that ankle when we talked to him.
It's just frustrating, you know, it's a lot of uncontrollable injury this year, and just it's been up and down year. A lot of good ups, a lot of bad downs, just kind of going through it, but stay positive thoughts. You know, team's going to get hot here. We're going to get on a roll and, you know, roll into October, so I'm just looking to get back into it.
This happened on Friday, and then you tried to fight through it for a couple of days, and then it just got too much to bear. Is that what it was?
Yeah, I mean, I'll still be playing on it right now. I think it's just more of a, you know, organizational decision more than mine. I want to play and I want to be in there. But I think everybody saw I wasn't right in the IBs, so you know, I just trust them too.
Been a tough season for Jackson Merrill, coming off of that Rookie of the Year type campaign in his first season, and then a hamstring injury, concussion, in which he just kind of got hit off the side of the head trying to go to second, and then flips an ankle. It's been a tough year for him. Obviously, the batting numbers probably, especially if you look at like the home runs and the OPS, probably not where he wants to be. But once again, we just talked about it. The depth added by the Padres allows for a guy like Ramon Laureano to move into center field right now, who's been playing fantastic. You can slide a guy like Gavin Sheets back into left field. They've got options to kind of steady the course, and Jackson, they can take their time with Jackson Merrill to get healthy, which is a great thing.
He, of course, signed that massive extension, too, early in the year that, who knows, maybe it added pressure. I mean, Jackson doesn't ever show pressure, but you never know. Also, Major League Baseball is hard, right? People eventually figure people out. It's a counterattack situation in Major League Baseball. Next time we record the OTT show, the Dodgers series will have be played. I'm excited to see if the fan base is crumbling or if it's the greatest celebration. The parade is back on. We'll figure out next week when we talk Padres. In the meantime, let's move to the pitch where San Diego FC broken record after broken record continues their winning ways. Fellas, what else do you say? I don't know. I mean, Anders Dreyer for MVP. I don't know what else to say. They're great. SDFC is great.
San Diego FC is playing amazing. Let's just go ahead and frame up what they're getting ready to accomplish, because they will accomplish it. They are 1 win away from tying the MLS record for most wins in a season, same by St. Louis SC. That record's 17. They're 5 points away from tying the MLS record for an expansion team, the other record too for an expansion team in their first season, to get that many points in a season at 57. They're currently at 52. That record set by LAFC. What they're doing cannot be understated. And Jake, like you said, hey, you guys got to watch CBS 8, man. The people watching the streaming show, I just talked today about how Anders Dreyer is very well in the race for MVP with the season he has. Leads the league in goal contributions for the best team in the MLS in their expansion season, and they're on course to set MLS records. I mean, you can't say enough about this team, and I'll say this too. The way they won against San Jose with Marcus Ingvarsson coming in and scoring that big goal in the 80th minute, and then Anders Dreyer coming in and scoring that goal that you just saw in the 84th minute, and the way they just stole it from San Jose really shows the resolve of this team, how good this team is, how clutch this team is, and where they could go. And I'm telling you, Ingvarsson could be a crucial piece for this team. He's missed 23 of the last 25 games with a leg injury, but he could be that guy that kind of comes in, scores at maybe not the rate that Milan Milosky was, but could be that guy that really steps in if he can stay healthy.
Yeah, it'll be great to see what Ingvarsson contributes to this team as we come down to the final 7 games of the year. And when I think about this organization and what has happened this first year, very impressive. It's been an immaculate season. And I as good as these guys are on the field, I give so much credit to Mikey Varas. I think Mikey Varas has established a philosophy. I think the players and the team have absolutely bit into it. And they're performing and executing what Mikey Varas wants to see. Mikey Varas is like the Ted Lasso of this team, and this team is succeeding, tied for the best record in all of MLS right now. This first season could not have gone any better. All that's left now is how much will they accomplish in the postseason? I can't wait to see it.
Let's hear from Mr. Ted Lasso, as John Howard would put it right now.
I just love the composure that the group showed in that moment, because at the end of the day, this is how we play. And sometimes you're going to get bit when you take that much risk. But we maintained our calm, and boy, these guys don't give up, man. This is a team full of guys who they don't have give up in them. And that's when special things can happen, because you can maintain calm and say, hey, we're still going to go after this game. And it's not just about getting that 1-1, but it's about getting the next goal. I'm going to be honest with you, the only points that I'm thinking about week in and week out are the ones that are in front of us. So right now it's about celebrating these 3 points, because these were hard-earned. This was a hard-earned 3 points. And tomorrow we'll wake up, recover, and then we got to get back to business for the next 3 points in front of us.
It's funny because that soundbite could be applicable to the San Jose game, which obviously it was, but it could also be applicable to their entire season. I mean, this team just never stops. They're always pursuing the next thing. They're very focused on their moment, and they just keep getting after it. I've loved their style of play from the beginning. For a whole fan base, by the way, I shouldn't say a whole fan base, but a big fan base being introduced to MLS and soccer in this city, to have a product that plays the way that SDFC does could not have been better to get people on board and jumping in and excited about this team. It also helps when you're the best team in Major League Soccer in your first year. But man, the style of play is fun too.
How awesome would it be if they won the Supporter Shield in their very first season? I mean, they're playing so fantastic right now. As you said, Jake, the fan base that they're going to draw, just the winning, and especially, I'm telling you, if they make a deep run in the postseason, that's when, the legends are made, the fans really hop on board. That's what's gotten the Padres, fans just so excited. It's just, all the postseason hype that comes with it. If San Diego FC is able to make that deep kind of run, this is a team that's going to be loved for many years to come.
Yeah, Karthik kind of touches on it. This is a San Diego fan base where they really won't come out unless it's a winning product. And SDFC has proven itself to be a winner. I was looking up some of the betting lines. Miami, one of the betting favorites to win the MLS. They're in 5th place in the East.
Yeah, they got this guy, Lionel Messi. You may have heard of him, John.
They do, which I understand. But when you look at San Diego FC being as dominant as they are, it's kind of like, hey, we got nothing to lose. We're an expansion team. We're going to go out. And I think they've surprised a lot of people this season.
And this is what they have this upcoming weekend. They're going to clash with the Portland Timbers at Snapdragon Stadium. That'll be Saturday, the 23rd, kickoff at 7:30 p.m. from the Dragon. Portland, kind of middle of the line club. To me, it's a match San Diego FC, just given everything they've done, should take care of. You're at home. It's a weaker opponent. Go do your thing, right? I mean, that's how I see this one shaping up. Let's also quickly show you the Supporters Shield. Karthik brought it up. Look who's at the top of that thing. This is not the Western Conference standings. This is the Supporters Shield. Every team in MLS from the top down, and San Diego FC is tied for the most points in the entire league with 52 of them. They got 16 wins. Karthik already touched on all that. There's John's Inter Miami down there at 45, everybody's favorite. So, I mean, just a beyond impressive year. Any final thoughts for you two on SDFC, or should we move on to the San Diego Wave?
Let's move it. Let's keep it rolling.
Let's get to the ladies of the pitch. San Diego Wave finally got back in the win column after a long string of draws, which, you know, not the worst thing in the world by any means. They didn't lose any of them, but it was draw, draw, draw. Finally getting a win over Bay. This was a nice match for San Diego. I thought they played really well. What your guys' thoughts on this one and where the Wave are at?
Needed to bounce back, man. And it's not even a bounce back. You got to think of it. If you look at the NWSL table right now, San Diego Wave.
It's coming up.
Oh, it's coming up.
Worry.
I won't spoil it too much then, but they sit currently, second in the standings. And, those draws, even though they're not wins, 1 point, 1 point, 1 point equals, the 3 points that you would get for a win. That's huge over that stretch to still get those results, even though, some of those matches they probably should have won. They didn't, but that's okay. They got it. They bounced back. They got a dub. Now they're really starting to, get things going after the FIFA international break, hopefully. And this is a team that's in second. It's going to be a race for second. The Casey, team is just running away with this thing right now with the amount of points that they have. The Wave can keep steady. Hey, this is starting to turn into a really good thing for them and a great bounce back year after the down year that they had last year. And, man, there's going to be a lot to celebrate if this team can keep it up. Alex Morgan's getting her jersey retired here in a couple of weeks as well as a member of the San Diego Wave. Good time for the San Diego Wave Club.
Yeah, it's a great win differential for the Wave this year. I mean, they're 8-3-5. So anytime you have played 16 games and only have 3 losses, you are doing something right.
Yeah.
And as Karthik mentions, it is going to be a battle for second place. 10 more matches to go for San Diego Wave. And their biggest match is going to be the final one when they get to take on the Kansas City Current on November 2nd, final match of the year.
And here is their next match as we speak about the Wave. Racing Louisville will be coming to Snapdragon Stadium the day after SDFC plays. That will be Sunday, August 24th, 5 p.m. kickoff there. To me, I don't see this being much of an issue either for San Diego Wave. That may be a naive statement, but Racing Louisville is a team that they could get right after. We can show you the standings here as well for the NWSL. You see 22 points there for Racing Louisville, and San Diego Wave sitting at 29. There's Kansas City just currenting away from the entire league. It's just insane, 3-2-1 on the year. Fellas, second place, that's fine. Any chance of catching? No, there's no chance, right?
The Current have been playing really well.
Chance.
The Current handled the Wave pretty easily earlier this year. I think they got to get into the playoffs and hope they get hot. Casey's been playing great.
Right. See what can happen once you're in the big dance for the course of 90 minutes. That's fine, right? And the Wave got themselves in a very solid playoff position, as John mentioned, with 10 matches to go. Hopefully they are able to finish strong. We'll be here next week to talk about how they finish against Racing Louisville and how SDFC takes on Portland, and, of course, how the Padres did against the Giants and the Dodgers. Join us next week right here on the Final Quarter on CBS 8+. Until then, John, Karthik, as always.
All right, September 1, Padres will be in first place.
Don't fumble the bag, Padres! Get it done!
Why'd you have to do it again? Last time you did that, they fumbled the bag. Use reverse
Don't
psychology.
fumble it!
Use reverse psychology. Tell them to fumble it.
No.
This guy.
Don't fumble it!
See you next week, all.